wise people of a strong country. We finally managed to free the mayor of our Ukrainian city of Melitopol from captivity, which did not and will not submit to the invaders. Ivan Fedorov is free. I talked to him today. Russian troops abducted him on March 11th and tried to persuade him to collaborate. But our guy persevered and did not give up. He endured just as we all endure and do not give up. Because we Ukrainians always protect our people and our country. Today in Berdyansk, a protest action against the invaders who came from the Russian Federation took place again. Thousands of brave civilians spoke out against the armed Russian military and told them everything they deserved. It is very important. I know it's difficult, but it's important. And it is also important what the invaders heard from our people, including in Russian. They heard a clear and unequivocal, "Invaders, go home." They still have such an opportunity. Every soldier who has been thrown into the territory of our state and who has not yet died, is not wounded and is not in captivity has this opportunity. Russian troops in Ukraine are suffering losses that have not been in Syria, Chechnya, or Soviet troops in Afghanistan. If your war against the Ukrainian people continues, Russian mothers will lose more children than they lost in the Afghan and Chechen wars. Why do you need this? Every Russian soldier who lays down his arms will have a chance to survive. I appeal to them, to the conscripts who were sent to this foreign war, to death. I appeal to all other soldiers who still have an instinct for self-preservation. Put down your weapons, it will be better than dying on the battlefield on our land.
Так лучше, чем погибнуть на поле боя, на нашей земле.
Unfortunately, the humanitarian corridors did not work on Wednesday. Russian troops did not stop shelling, did not guarantee security. We are ready to ensure silence. We are ready to take people out and send humanitarian aid. But we can't put people to death on the road. Understand us. There is no war crime for Russian servicemen that they do not commit. We are taking residents of Mariupol from Zaporizhia who managed to leave for Berdyansk. In total, more than 6,000 Mariupol residents were transported during this day, more than 2,000 of them are children. The Russian military tried to prevent this as well. They opened mortar fire on the section of the road between Vasilivka and Kamyansky in the Zaporizhia region. We are lucky that there are no dead people. Thank God. Unfortunately, 5 Ukrainians were injured, 2 of them are children. In Chernihiv, invaders shot dead civilians who were simply standing in line for bread. Imagine. 10 people died. In occupied Mariupol, Russian aircraft deliberately dropped a heavy bomb on the drama theater in the city center. Hundreds of people hid from the shelling in this theater. The theater building was destroyed. The death toll is still unknown. I am very hurt by what Russia is doing to our people, our Mariupol and the Donetsk region.
З нашим Маріуполем, з нашою Донецькою областю.
Citizens of Russia, how is your blockade of Mariupol different from the blockade of Leningrad during World War II? Whose followers are you? We will not forget everyone who was killed by the invaders. We will not forgive you for killing anyone. Eternal memory to all the victims of this terror, to all the victims of the war started by the Russian state. What else should the invaders do? How many more people do they have to kill in order for Western and NATO leaders to respond positively to Ukraine's request for a no-fly zone or for providing our country with the planes we so desperately need? I spoke about this today in a speech to the United States Congress. Ukraine has received strong support from our American friends. I am grateful to President Biden for that. I am grateful for his leadership, which has united the democratic world. But the war does not end. Russia's war crimes do not stop. The Russian economy is still able to support their troops. That is why we really need new sanctions packages against Russia. The world must finally officially recognize that Russia has become a terrorist state. And the main thing is that Ukraine should receive even more support than we are receiving right now. Ukraine needs to get air defense systems, planes, enough lethal weapons and ammunition to stop the Russian invaders. It was in this speech in Congress that I appealed to both the United States and all those responsible for the creation of a new U-24 association. This is a new alliance that will ensure that each aggressor country receives a coordinated response from the world. This response will be received quickly and effectively, immediately, not weeks, months or years, in the first 24 hours after the attack. We can no longer trust existing institutions. We cannot expect bureaucrats in international organizations to change so quickly. Therefore, we must seek new guarantees, create new tools, select those who have courage, and do what justice requires. We have already proved that we can do historical things. This is not only our resistance, not only our defense. Even at such a difficult time for Ukraine, we were able to join the European Energy Network. Now the people of Ukraine can enjoy the flow of electricity from the European Union. We have been doing this for decades. It finally happened. I am grateful to all the energy workers of our country, to all those who worked for this. We are already working on programs to rebuild our country after the war. I promise every Ukrainian who has unfortunately lost his house or apartment as a result of hostilities or shelling that the state of Ukraine will restore everything on its own. I am confident that we will be able to rebuild our state quickly, despite such losses. It will be a historical reconstruction. It will be a project that will inspire the world just as it inspires our struggle for our freedom and our country. During the day I spoke with friends of Ukraine, President of Turkey Erdogan, Prime Minister of Canada Trudeau. I thanked them for their support. We agreed on new steps for peace in our country. In a conversation with the Prime Minister of Ireland, I expressed my condolences over the murder by the Russian military of an Irish citizen, journalist Pierre Zakrzewski. I also spoke with the President of the European Commission, Ursula von der Leyen. We agreed to support our citizens, temporary migrants. I will address the German Parliament on Thursday morning. I will continue to fight for even greater support for Ukraine, for even greater pressure on Russia for our common victory. For the sake of peace for us, the Ukrainian delegation speaks with the Russian delegation. I want all our citizens, the citizens of Ukraine, to hear me now. Negotiations for Ukraine continue. My priorities in the negotiations are absolutely clear: the end of the war, security guarantees, sovereignty, restoration of territorial integrity, real guarantees, and real protection for our country. Glory to all our heroes. Glory to Ukraine.
Слава усім нашим героям. Слава Україні!